everyone. Welcome back to Literally What. Happy October 1st. What the heck is going on? Spooky season has arrived. Came in really quick, really fast, but I'm ready. I got my pumpkin pillows out. I have my pumpkin candles out. We're full straight going along with it, and I'm excited and ready. So, yeah, happy spooky season. What a crazy last few days, not just for me, but just for, I feel like, a lot of the East Coast. That hurricane, it came out of nowhere, and I've just been seeing the aftermath, not just, the panhandle of Florida, but North Carolina, Georgia. Like, I just feel so bad. It's just awful to see the damage it's done. And I've been talking to a few people who their power, or they know people whose power is not going to be up for a long, long time. And it's just super sad. So sending all of my love and prayers to everyone who has been affected. Yeah, crazy stuff. So we live in Florida, obviously, and it's so funny because I feel like people who don't live in Florida just automatically assume that if there's a hurricane coming somewhat towards Florida, that the whole state is going to get hit. So that was just really funny because we had so many people being like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And we're central Florida, so we get a little bit of wind and rain, but wasn't really bad for us. The bad part was my planning. So I try to do a get together with my closest friends once a year, twice a year. And it just so happened that we planned this months ago, and it was this past weekend, which is when the hurricane decided to hit. And I was scared at first because I was like, are we going to be able to drive up there? And then I was like, well, actually it makes it easier because we left before the hurricane was hitting Florida. And we were able to get up to where we were vacationing. We took the cat, the dog, we took everything, brought in all the patio furniture, dipped out of the house. And I was just praying, like, please let the house be fine when we get back. And it was totally fine. Totally fine. No power loss or trees falling down, anything like that. So that was really good. But the funny part was we got up to our vacation house Thursday night and the hurricane was hitting. It was moving really fast. So we basically drove up Thursday to try and beat the hurricane. We get to the house Thursday night and it's already past Florida. And then it hit our cabin like overnight. Not really. We didn't really get much of anything, but our power did go out for a few hours the first night we were there, which was kind of funny. I was like, seriously already? But after that first time, it was totally fine. But yeah, so wasn't a bad storm for us, thankfully. But when we drove back down home this past Sunday, a lot of Florida where we were driving through, the trees were down. There were people still fixing power lines. It was just awful. So just prayers to everyone. I did hear that another hurricane was possibly hitting again in the next week or two. This is just the year of hurricanes. I don't understand it at all, but anyway, so yeah, weekend recap. I had the best weekend, but now I'm back in like my depressive mode of like, I'm never gonna see my friends again. And I know that's so dramatic, but it's so funny because I feel like I treat my friendships like a relationship or like a romantic one, because obviously with dating or marriage, especially just like the longer you've been together and people who have kids, I feel like you always hear couples being like giving advice of, date nights once a week and then go out of town once a month and then do like a long vacation like every year, whatever. And so with my friends, I try to always plan these big just like getaways for a few days, because I swear there's nothing more like bonding and just like to get your fix of like your friends and like getting all the gossip and, just filling everyone in. Because as you get older, and now that I'm in my 20s, it's funny because literally all of my friends are younger than me. I don't know why that is, but anyway, they're all younger than me, but all still like in their 20s, and we're all just like in different phases of life. And, I try to make sure we're talking, as much as we can on the phone, but it's like, it's hard, right? Because we're all so busy. And so I try to do these trips so that we can all kind of get together, hang out, because they're really, in my opinion, like there's no better way of like catching up or like just seeing your people than actually being in person and spending time together. And in my opinion, stuck in a house or a cabin together for a few days. So that's just me. I feel like I'm still going to be 60 years old trying to plan these trips with my friends. And yeah, that's just me. I treat them like relationships. I'm like, okay, I have to see you once a year, so let's go. take off work. And we did it for 4 days, which was a lot better than our typical 3 days that we do, but it still wasn't long enough. So next time I'm going to push for like, I don't know, guys, I might be pushing for a week next time just because, you know, even though like my love language is, my head is like all over the place, but my love language is physical touch. So that's also hard with all of my friends because I obviously can't be like hugging them from, you know, a state away, hours away. So it's nice to kind of get up there, love on them, and just see them because I'm a big hugger. And so it's hard. Like, you know, I don't know. If you're not physical touch, like you will not understand. Like one of my friends is not physical touch. I still like force her to hug me. But if you're a physical touch person, it's hard when you're like away from your friends because you're like, I just like want to squeeze you, literally. So anyway, that was fun. Nothing like just playing some games, hanging out, and I miss it. And then the ride home, I was just like so sad, but also happy to be back at my home just to get back into the routine of things. So yeah, that was my weekend. It was crazy. I also, you guys, I swear, I swear for years and years and years, I see 717, those numbers all the time. And I'm not like a big believer in any of that, but it's getting to the point where it's really weird. Like I'll be setting a timer on the clock and then I'll look and it'll be 717. I just looked at like my recording audio, 717. Anytime I look at the clock, I feel like it's 717. So I need to look that up or someone maybe let me know what that means because I've been seeing it everywhere and I don't know what that means, but it's got to mean something, right? Yeah. Oh, I did have, yes, special announcement. I am not going to make you guys wait until the end of the episode because I'm just like so nice. Let's get into the special announcement and then some hot gossip, hot take, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Okay, special announcement. It's not like a huge, crazy announcement, but my 1 year of this podcast is next Monday, October 7th. I will have been podcasting for a year. Cannot believe it's been a year. It's honestly insane to me. And so I wanted to do a little bit of something, just to show my appreciation to you guys who have been here either from the first episode, this is your first time watching. If you've been watching for a couple months, it just like means so much that I have any one person watching and listening to me. So I am going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be posting that on my actual 1 year anniversary. So that will be posted on my Instagram next Monday. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up so you can be ready for that. Basically, I'm going to have it where 3 people can win. I'm just going to be doing some gift cards. So instead of 1 person, 3 of you have the chance to win. And it's just a typical, like the post, tag a friend. If you want to share on your story, it'll be an extra entry. And then however many people you tag in the comments is an extra entry. And then you have to be following the Instagram account as well. So that will be fun. I'm excited. I never enter giveaways because I'm not a lucky person. I've never won a giveaway in my life. So that's why I'm trying to make it where you have a better chance. So 3 of you are going to win instead of 1. And yeah, I'm excited. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're not following the Instagram, go follow the Instagram because then you're like not gonna be able to enter. You know what I mean? So yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, now let's get into our stories of the week. We're gonna start off with our Dancing with the Stars week 2 recap just because it happened exactly a week ago and we don't have any Dancing with the Stars this week. So like tonight is Tuesday and it should be Dancing with the Stars, but we don't have any because of a presidential debate, which yes, I get it's important, but also like I would much rather watch Dancing with the Stars than a debate. And I know it's not their fault. It's like it's on ABC, I think. So like they don't really have a choice, but it's just like annoying, you know, like why do you have to do this to us? Why do you have to do it to Dancing with the Stars? But it's fine. Next week they are doing a double show. So there'll be an episode Monday and an episode Tuesday. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, last week, week 2, holy moly, a lot of surprises, crazy stuff. What a great season already. And we're only on episode 2. Crazy. So the big thing that happened, they had their double elimination. And when I tell you I was shocked at who went home, Tori Spelling went home and Posh, unfortunately, and then Anna Delvey and Ezra. Now, here are my thoughts. So when they were doing the like who's safe, who's not, when Eric and Britt were safe, that shocked me because I surely thought he was going home. And then Reginald was like kind of left. So I was like, oh, is Reginald going to be the one to go home? Because I know he has a way bigger fan base than Eric. So when Eric was safe, I was like, shoot. So someone that isn't like the worst dancer is going to be going home. I kind of had an inkling that Tori Spelling might be the one to go home just because she wasn't like a top dancer. And I don't think she has the biggest fan base necessarily of people who are going to be voting for her. Anna Delvey, I wasn't really that shocked at because I don't know what people would have been voting for her. But I was really sad about Tori because you could tell it was just kind of like a fire and ice. Like Tori really wanted to be there. She was having the time of her life, like just smiling the whole time, so happy. And then you have Anna over here just being like a bitch and being like, well, I don't know why, like I did this, like I learned nothing from the experience. First, that comment, hello. And I don't know if she's trying to put up like a facade or a front, but it's not getting you anywhere, girlfriend. Like she dug herself a hole, and a lot of the judges commented on just like press things and were just like, you know, unhappy about the whole situation, especially because it was Ezra's first year as a pro. And that sucks because especially on social media, he was like trying to defend her and like try to make light of the situation. It just wasn't working. So I feel so bad for him, but I'm glad she's off because leave. But Tori, I was really upset about. And so after watching and just seeing TikToks being posted, I have seen so many people voting for Reggie, and I think he will go further, which is frustrating to me because, yes, I love most of the older people that go on the show. Like, they have such a good personality. They, like, give the show a little something extra, but it takes away from celebrities who are actually good and deserve to be there. And so I think instead of like having 2 or 3 older people join the show, they need to have a separate Dancing with the Stars that's for seniors. So say like, I don't know, 60 or 70 and above, because it just like it's frustrating. And like Tori should have been there, and like, yes, say it was like Anna Delvey, yes, that makes sense because she was being like awful, but then Tori should have stayed, and then one of the other older men should have gone, in my opinion. So yeah, it's just like kind of upsetting how the whole thing went down. But yeah, so another thought that I had, Derek was doing crazy low scores, and I'm so sick of these scores being not fair at all. I don't get it. He was scoring awfully. Is that a word? Awfully? It was just really frustrating. And, you know, I feel like sometimes like him and Bruno are kind of on the same wavelength, and Carrie-Anne will do like a higher score. But a lot of the times it was like Carrie-Anne and Bruno were being high, and then Derek's like giving 4s out. Like, why are you giving a 4? I'm sorry. I don't know. It was just frustrating. Yeah. And then the whole Gleb and Brooks. So in their package, they did a little smooch, which obviously showmances are a thing. It kind of gets more viewers and more votes because I want to see the relationship grow on camera and on the TV show. But a lot of times, you know, we don't know if that's just for show or if it's actually real. But then we got a behind the scenes video that was posted on TikTok of them kissing. They thought they were alone. It was like backstage before or after they danced, I believe, and they kissed. And then there were paparazzi pictures of them recently on the street kissing. So I think it's a real thing. Do I think it will last? No, I think it is obviously, you know, 2 hot people dancing in a studio together. They're both single. They both like are good looking. Like, why are they not just gonna have fun with it? So I think they do have something there. I don't know if it's gonna last after the show necessarily. He did this with another co-star, his partner, I believe, a few years ago, but I don't remember who it was. And then like shortly after, a couple months after the show ended, they ended their relationship. So we'll see. But honestly with her, like, yes, I like that they're together. They're really cute. But she's not like my favorite dancer. So I don't know. My tops still remain the same. So yeah. Now, this got me thinking into the future because obviously I've been talking about my top 4 and just like my favorite people in general and who I want to win. And I've come to the conclusion that I am not going to be happy with any outcome. And no matter who wins, I'm going to be upset because there's just too many different couples that I love for different reasons that I think deserve the mirror ball. And I think they should just give the mirror ball to the top 4. I don't know, that's not how it works, but there's just so many couples that I love, and I do have my favorites, but it's also like so many deserve the mirror ball already, and it's week 2. So it's hard, and it's going to be difficult because we're going to have to send people home, and it's going to be difficult. So yeah, hard to think about, but we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. So that was Dancing with the Stars week 2. We'll be back next week with our double night, which is just like going to be way too much content. I wish we could have seen it tonight, or if they could have done it yesterday. Whatever. All right, let's get into our next story, which was kind of a crazy headline. And then it's one of those things with tabloids, you think it's something and then it's really not. And I fell victim to that, but we're still going to talk about it because I think it's an interesting story. And that is that Jennifer Aniston's LA home was swatted. So Jennifer Aniston, she got her house swatted because someone called the cops, and the LAPD are now investigating. Basically, this past Friday evening, she was swatted because of a growing prank that's happening in LA where people are calling the cops and having famous people's homes swatted, which is psychotic to me. I just can't imagine, like, leave these people alone. Basically, the law enforcement told TMZ that someone called the cops and told dispatcher he was worried about his friend's well-being, but never mentioned that it was Jennifer Aniston. The caller said his friend was not doing well, and then the caller asked the cops to do a welfare check, providing only the address and then keeping himself anonymous. So then they went to her house just after midnight. They met security, who was obviously like, what the hell are you doing here? And then they realized it was Jennifer Aniston's home. They spoke with her. She said that everything was okay. And so then the police just noted the address down. And so basically, like, if they get a call like this again, to check with security and not, disturbing Jennifer Aniston sleeping on a Friday night in her home. But they did not close the case yet because they are treating the call as a swatting and now have to investigate the incident further. And basically, like, this has happened multiple times to celebrities beforehand. It's happened to Rihanna. It's happened to Ashton Kutcher. I think it's happened... Did this happen to J-Lo, or am I making that up? But basically, Justin Bieber. Yeah, that's who it was. So basically, these people, I guess, just call and are like, hey, welfare check on this house. I'm sure when the cops pull up, they realize it's a big-ass house. So I just, like, it would never even cross my mind. Like, first of all, I hate phone calls in general, so the thought of making a prank call, like, I've never made a prank call. I never will in my whole entire life. But a prank call, something like that serious, and not only disturbing the celebrity, but then the policemen who are, like, out doing this for it's just, like, so stupid. And I hope that they find out who's doing this, but I feel like it's just different people. I don't think it's, like, one person. It seems like it's just, like, different people bored with their lives. So anyway, crazy, but not as crazy as this next story, guys, because Rascal Flatts is going on tour. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Life is a Highway is, like, just my favorite song. Like, all of their songs are my favorites, and I'm so excited. Basically, they posted on TikTok and Instagram that was kind of hinting at them going back on tour, but we didn't know. And then they posted to their Instagram today. Rascal Flatts 2025 will be the 25th anniversary of Rascal Flatts, and they are going to be going on their Life is a Highway tour featuring Lauren Elena, and I am Chris Lane. I'm insanely excited for this, especially because they are coming to Florida, and I think they are only coming to the East Coast, which is fine for me. So I'm wondering if they'll end up extending to the West Coast or if they are just going to stick to the East Coast. But I am so excited. I'm so excited. It is kind of funny though, because if you're looking at the cities, it's just, like, interesting. Like, I feel like most singers or artists don't go to some of these cities, but they are coming to Florida. They're coming to Orlando. So I will be happy about that. And ever since, like, Rascal Flatts were in the Hannah Montana movie, they have just been just a good band and just like good heartwarming songs. And when I graduated, we had to make a slideshow about yourself, and one of their songs, I think it was, which one was it? I think it was either Bless the Broken Road or one other one that was like, oh, like the I Hope You Dance one. Watch that not even be theirs. But yeah, it's just like they've always been a big part of just that nostalgia factor of life. So I'm excited. Definitely going to try to go. And I mean, I feel like I need to, because I don't think they're going to be going on tour anymore, because I feel like this is kind of like a goodbye, you know? Who knows? Exciting stuff, though. Alrighty, our next story is pretty exciting for this individual. It's about one of our little TikTok girls, CHARLI D'Amelio. She is going to be making her Broadway debut. And I know that TikTokers get a lot of hate, but I love this for her. And I love that she is taking this opportunity. And I think it's a great one for her. And just like, I'm imagining myself, and like, obviously I can look back and be like, oh, I wish that I like started posting on TikTok in 2020 and I could have been, you know, just famous for dancing on the internet, but I'm not. And so therefore, whenever I have a thought in my head like, oh my gosh, these TikTokers, I realize and understand, yeah, it's jealousy because I'm not a famous TikToker. But I love that she's doing something that you just know is for herself and something that she wants to do, and probably something she's dreamed of forever. And TikTok allowed her to kind of follow this path. So she will be taking on an ensemble dance role in the Broadway musical and Juliet. I have never heard of this musical, and I looked into it, and it's basically kind of a modern day what would happen if Juliet didn't kill herself and just kind of like lived on in her life. So it honestly sounds really interesting. But she is going to be taking on the role of Charmian, I think, a dance-heavy ensemble part starting October 29th, and she will be there for 3 months through January 19th. I think this is really exciting for her. At first, when I saw this, I thought it was going to be like more of an acting role, but it seems like since it's an ensemble, it's going to be more dancing. She said, "I'm beyond excited to join the Broadway community. It's a dream I've had since I was a little girl." So exciting for her, honestly. She said, "To be able to make my Broadway debut, especially in the cast of & Juliet, is truly a dream come true. I can't wait to share this experience with everyone." The show is set to a score of pop hits, Since You've Been Gone, Roar, I Want It That Way, and Confident. So I guess it's kind of like modern day, but then they kind of like redo these popular songs to like a different style. So that's exciting for her. I'm very happy for her. And yeah, I mean, dang, like even me growing up, I was like, oh, I want to be on Broadway. But, you know, I feel like it's a dream that most people have. And I'm sure for her and her family, like this is probably going to be more surreal for her than the whole TikTok fame. Just because I feel like if you're behind a screen, it can be easier. But if you're performing and dancing on Broadway, it's kind of like you're either good and you're not, and you can't really hide that. I remember, oh my gosh, did you guys see that movie with Addison Rae? What was that called? That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. And she had some singing part, and you could tell it was kind of like not really her singing, and like the dance moves were just like so cringy. It's like that to me is more of like, oh yeah, that's what a famous TikToker is gonna do. But to see her, CHARLI, gonna be on Broadway, like it's just so more like real and exciting for her. And obviously being in a movie is like exciting, but I'm just saying I feel like Broadway's a little bit more intense. So excited for her, definitely. And it actually looks like I wish they would make that into a movie, but I don't think that is a movie, but it's a really cool concept. I remember reading Romeo and Juliet in high school, and then we watched like the movie. It's just like, I mean, the story, it's everywhere. Taylor Swift's love story, Romeo and Juliet, like it's just everywhere. So that's a really cool concept, just kind of seeing like what would have happened if Juliet like was living on, and what would she have done. Alrighty, our next story is about someone I don't think we've even ever talked about on this podcast, but Ariana Grande. She is defending her relationship with Ethan Slater. This whole storyline of her and SpongeBob has always just been so interesting to me, because there are always two sides to a story, but from what I understand, he was married with a kid. Ariana was either engaged or I believe married to the other guy, and then her and SpongeBob ended up getting together, and both of the other people, they left their other people. And so obviously the speculation is, you know, he left his wife and child to be with Ariana Grande and just kind of like ruin lives. And I guess she was just kind of coming on the record to be like, that's not what happened, when, okay, well, what's the other option that could have happened? Because, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're saying that didn't happen, then what happened, kind of thing, you know? So anyway, she finally has come out a year after her romance with Ethan Slater made headlines amid their respective divorces. She is clapping back at the criticism. She said, the most disappointing part was to see so many people believe the worst of our relationship. Okay. She said, there couldn't be a less accurate depiction of a human being than the one that the tabloids spread about him. No one on this earth tries harder, spreads themselves thinner to be there for the people that he loves and cares about. There is no one on this earth with a better heart. That is something that no bullshit tabloid can rewrite in real life. It's just like, Ariana Grande is so interesting to me just because her whole life she's been through so much. But he had been married to Lily J since 2018, and they have a 2-year-old son now. And she did come out. Yeah, that's right. She did come out and say that Ariana Grande was not a girl's girl. And then that's when Ariana Grande, oh my gosh, that's right. She came out with her album Eternal Sunshine and had that whole Yes and song. It's just like, she can, yeah, okay, Ariana Grande can be like, yes, Ethan, I'm sure, is a very nice man. I'm sure she wouldn't be with him if he wasn't. But it still doesn't, like, go against the fact that you both, like, got divorced, ended up together. He, like, left his son and wife to be with this celebrity. So it's like, you know what I mean? And maybe something else happened, and, you know, I don't know. I also just tend to always blame the men, but I don't know. So odd to me, this whole thing of her coming out and being like, can you stop being mean? But it's like, okay, well then what happened? Because I mean, even the ex-wife came out and said that, like, you weren't a girl's girl. So what are we supposed to believe about that? Just interesting to me. I don't know if we'll ever know what really went down and whatever happened, but yeah, who knew that she would be with SpongeBob? She is just so interesting. Just like, she was on Victorious and was part of the whole Nickelodeon stuff. And then Pete Davidson, Mac Miller. Do you guys remember that video where she, like, licked a donut off of the donut counter? Just crazy stuff. But anyway, I guess if you want to believe her, then you'll believe her. But I just don't believe it because it's just a little too suspicious to me. Alrighty, our next story, a little bit of follow-up with The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Obviously, if you've seen it, Taylor Frankie Paul, on the show, we see her get pregnant and have a baby with her boyfriend Dakota, who I literally can't stand. I think he's the worst. But now it's coming out that they might be done and that the relationship is definitely struggling. So basically, she is saying that they're struggling right now, and she posted some, you know, cryptic things on TikTok and Instagram, as a lot of people do. And you know, when we see the end of the show, it still is a little bit shaky between Taylor and Dakota, and, you know, there was just a lot of, like, ifs, and kind of like when the show comes out, Taylor assumed that a lot of girls might come out and say stuff about Dakota, or just, like, a lot of people would try to be, you know, not being in support of the relationship and try to, like, end it. And it seems like it's kind of working, because I think that they are committed to now co-parenting. From what, again, and this is all speculation, but from what we can tell, she posted on Instagram about, like, entering a new chapter in her life, and then she did a TikTok that said she was slowly morphing into 2022 me, which I'm assuming is when something else ended with her. But yeah, it seems like things are not all happy, which it literally never looked like it was all happy at all, even watching the show. So this poor girl, like, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of what she's done in life, but she's been through it. And I am glad though that I'm hoping that she is not with Dakota, because I just like can't stand him. I just don't think he's a good person. But again, like, they have a child together, they're gonna have to co-parent and figure it out. But it's just very interesting, this whole situation. And I'm sure it's because of the show, and I'm sure a lot of people have messaged her and told her things. So that's going to be hard, putting your life out there. And then it's like, all right, well, now we're going to tear your life apart and ruin it for you. So thanks. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll be keeping an eye on it because I'm interested in this stuff. Yep. Because I just love drama when it's not in my own life. Okay. Still following up with a little bit of Secret Lives, Mormon Wives. Whitney Levitt, she went on the podcast with Taylor and Taylor Lautner, my faves, and basically just wanted to kind of clear up some things. Now, I'm going to say something. I know so many people hate her. I don't hate her. And I follow her on Instagram, and and I've said this before, I just think she's been through a lot. And the podcast was very interesting to listen to, and a lot of it was her being like, they don't show a lot on the show. A lot of stuff wasn't put in. She also, what I was most surprised with is she did take accountability for a lot of things. So she was like, yes, I said these things about the girls. Yes, I did the whole Fruity Pebbles thing. And she said that she called Demi before about that, which I think she probably just called Demi to be like, can I do something? I don't think she told her what it was. But I think that, I don't know, I just don't hate her, and I don't know why. But basically, she did take accountability. She said that the producers can't make you do things. But then she also kind of contradicted herself, because she said that she showed up at that last episode at Michaela's birthday party because production wanted her to, because it was the last episode, which that makes sense to me. Yes, I'm sorry. It wouldn't have been very dramatic if nothing happened at the party and Whitney just never came back. But she said that when she left the group chat, a lot happened to why she did that, and just she was giving a lot of reasons that we're not seeing everything, which I knew is kind of what was going on, because she said that and I don't remember the exact number, but from the pilot to when they started filming was maybe a year in between. It was a long time in between. So I think there's a lot that happened that we don't see, and obviously, it's a show, they want drama for the reality show. So it was just interesting, but a good episode, and I hope she comes back, because I'm just sorry, I don't hate her. Okay, I'm sorry about it. Alrighty, so our last story of the week, none of you probably even know who this is, but if you were on YouTube growing up, the beauty gurus were my life, and I wanted to grow up and be a beauty guru. I would watch them day and night. I loved them so much. And one of my favorites was Juicy Star 07, Miss Blair Fowler. She, oh my gosh, just I'll still go back sometimes and watch her room tour videos, what's in my purse videos, her holiday vlogs, just it's so nostalgic for me. And I remember she was dating, I don't remember what his name was, but he was also a famous YouTuber, and then they broke up, and I think he cheated her. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he was just an awful guy. And that was such a imprinted moment in my brain when that all happened. And I just recently found her because she popped up on my TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I started following her, followed her Instagram. She recently got married. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. And I'm just so happy for her. It just was a full circle moment. I was my younger self is dying right now. And I reposted it on my Instagram story about her getting married, and she liked it. Now, I don't post many things on my stories about celebrities or just anything like that, because I know that most people don't care. But that was I needed to post this because I was I just love her, and she liked it. So my life's complete. That was the best moment of my life, and just so crazy seeing all of the people you used to watch grow up. And she's living a normal life now. She has a corporate job. It's just so crazy, because growing up, all of these people, the beauty gurus I would watch, Bethany Moda, I'm trying to think of all of them. I used to watch so many. Lindsay Hughes, she's living, doing all this crazy stuff, and it's just so funny that how different times can change. And I'm sure they made so much money, or had so many views and subscribers, and now they're living normal lives, and it's it's just interesting to see. But yeah, that was very exciting. that she liked my story, so I had to share that. But wishing her all the best, and I'm gonna go rewatch all of her older videos because they are just so good and so nostalgic. I think her room tour video has like 4.1 million views or something like that, but she is a great YouTuber. Maybe I'll make my kids watch her when they're growing up, just because, I don't know, it like altered my brain chemistry, I swear, watching all of those beauty gurus. But yeah, that's all we have to talk about today. Again, make sure that you're following the Instagram so that you don't miss the giveaway post. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're listening to this and you want to watch me, I do post all of my episodes on YouTube. And I think that's everything for right now. I'm going to try to get back on that Saturday schedule of posting, but I went on vacation and had the hurricane, so I was like, well, can't post on Saturday now, but I'm going to try to get back to Saturday, just so it's more consistent for you guys, you know? Consistency is key. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I can't believe I'm almost at a year. Happy October. I hope, again, the hurricane, that everything is going to get settled soon, and that everyone is staying safe. But yeah, I will see you next time for some hot gossip, hot take, stories, and advice. So I'll have you say, literally what? Bye, guys.